By morning, Dover's Hollow had forgotten how to wake up. The sun rose, but no one saw it. The clouds hung low, heavy and pale, and somewhere in that colorless light, time itself fell off by a few seconds. People said it was the weather, but weather doesn't whisper, and it doesn't watch you back. 2 weeks had passed since the last fog drifted across the hollow. The search parties were over. The police called it an unresolved disappearance. And yet, every night at exactly 3:07 a.m., the same thing happened. A low hum, like air vibrating through glass. And then silence. It lasted no more than 6 seconds. But those who were awake said the silence wasn't empty. It was listening. At first, it was just oddities. A woman swore she saw her missing brother in the bakery window, even though the reflection moved before she did. Children playing near the creek found old shoes where the ground was too soft to walk. And every radio in town began picking up faint voices when the fog rolled back. Not songs, not static, just fragments. He's still walking. The bridge remembers. Don't follow the hum. The bridge had always been there. Built long before Dover's Hollow was a name on a map. But now, every night, a thin white mist coiled beneath its arch. Locals began hearing whispers if they stood too close. Some said it was wind. Others said it was him. The man who vanished, walking home, never to return. His name had faded from headlines, but not from the air. And soon, it wasn't just his name. Soft whisper echoes faintly, multiple voices overlapping saying, they all walk into it. The fog takes what remembers. On the third Sunday after the last fog, Pastor Whitmore didn't show up for morning service. The doors to St. Helen's Chapel were open, candles still burning. And there, on the altar, was a folded note. It read only, "The fog does not erase archives." The handwriting wasn't his. That's when the small things began to disappear. Road signs pointed to streets that didn't exist. Mailboxes had names no one remembered. A house, an entire house, vanished from Cedar Lane. When the police came, they found grass where the foundation had been. But the old woman next door swore she'd seen lights on the night before, said she heard laughter, and a voice outside her window whispering, "We were never gone." Eleanor Price was a journalist who came to Dover's Hollow to document the disappearances. She didn't believe in curses, but she did believe in patterns. So she set up her camera on the hill, one shot every 30 seconds. Through the night, when she developed the film, she found something she couldn't explain. In every frame between 3:06 and 3:08 a.m., the fog had a shape, not smoke, not cloud, a face. And in the final photograph, the face was hers. They gathered one night at the town hall. The sheriff, the mayor, and a few dozen locals. They wanted answers. The sheriff said it was collective trauma. The mayor said it was hysteria. Then someone turned on the projector. It played back the town's CCTV footage, taken from Main Street the night before. Fog drifted in around 3 a.m., and as it thickened, silhouettes emerged. Dozens of them, walking slowly, headed toward the camera. Then the lights flickered, and in the final frame, the silhouettes were gone, replaced by the exact same people sitting in the room. The mayor stood. She didn't speak. She simply left, and no one saw her again. By the fourth week, the children of Dover's Hollow stopped playing outside. Parents noticed they'd started humming the same tune, a slow, looping melody no one taught them. When asked where they learned it, they said, "The fog told us. It hums when it's lonely." That same night, streetlights began flickering in rhythm to the song, and the town's old clock tower, silent for 50 years, began to chime. 3 times, always at 3:07, the fog returned without warning. It rolled in like breath across glass, slow, deliberate, sentient, and with it came the footsteps. One by one, they echoed through the streets, from the bridge, from the woods, from beneath the town itself. People ran to their windows, but saw nothing, only fog. Yet through that thick silence came a knock, on every door. 3 knocks, perfectly timed. And when one man, Arthur Bell, opened he saw himself, only older and covered in frost. Arthur never returned. But the next day, his house was filled with photographs of places that didn't exist. Landscapes of light and shadow, faces pressed against glass, whispers stitched into clouds, and on every wall, the same phrase etched in condensation: "We are what the fog remembers." By now, Dover'sHollow was barely a town. The clock stopped, the birds stopped, even the air had gone still. People walked slower, spoke quieter, and sometimes mid-sentence they'd forget what they were saying. It wasn't the fog outside anymore. It was inside them, rewriting, one thought at a time. That's when the broadcast began. Across every television, radio, and phone, even ones unplugged. A voice, distant, hollow, speaking through layers of mist. The door's open. The hollow will remember you. He's walking again. Then, a long breath. The fog moved against the windows, pressing closer. And for the first time since it began, the fog didn't fade at dawn. It stayed, and something walked out of it. Dover'sHollow forgot the sun that day, and by nightfall, it remembered something else instead. A faint whisper echoed. He never stopped walking. The fog didn't fade. For 3 days, Dover'sHollow stayed buried under a blanket of white. The air was thick, too heavy to breathe, too quiet to scream. And in that silence, the town began to hum. Not a sound you could record, not a frequency you could trace. A hum that came from inside you. By the second morning, no one could tell where the fog ended and the ground began. The streets dissolved into a white shimmer. Buildings leaned like reflections, and shadows forgot their owners. Only one road remained visible, the bridge. It pulsed faintly in the mist, like something alive beneath the stone. And from it came a sound, a breath, slow, rhythmic, like the world itself was asleep and dreaming. Every screen, every radio, every unpowered phone lit up again. Static, then the voice. But this time it wasn't distant. It was close. The door has opened. The hollow remembers your shape. Step through and become. People said the voice sounded different this time. Not mechanical, not human. It sounded collective, as if 100 people were speaking in unison, breathing the same air, whispering from the same lung. Under the old library, a basement door was found unsealed. Inside were boxes of journals, all labeled Project Elysium, pages filled with weather reports, fog density logs, and one word circled in red ink on nearly every page: replication. The earliest entries dated back to 1953. The final one simply read: "The fog listens, the fog learns, the fog becomes what it remembers." And below that, a signature, almost illegible, but one word stood out: Whitmore, the pastor. Near the edge of town, Eleanor Price, the photographer, heard it first. Her recorder picked up whispers in the fog, but when she slowed the audio down, she heard her own voice. "You shouldn't have come back. He's waiting." The fog doesn't take. It trades. The next morning, her recorder was found on the bridge, still running, still humming. The last thing it captured was breathing. No one built it. It simply was there. A door, standing in the middle of the fog, carved from blackened wood, covered in condensation, pulsing faintly. No hinges, no handle, only a shallow imprint of a hand. Pressed deep into its center, the sheriff called an illusion, but when he touched it, the fog pulled him in like water. And for a moment, just one, everyone swore they saw his face behind the door, smiling. Then the door exhaled, and the sheriff was gone. The survivors who stayed indoors began to notice something strange. Mirrors no longer reflected what was in front of them. Instead, they showed the street outside, the fog swirling, shapes walking, and sometimes the shapes stopped and stared back. Doctors called it mirror hallucination. But there was no light for hallucination, no reflection, no reason, just fog, pressing gently against the glass as if it wanted in. They found a man in the woods, disoriented, frostbitten, eyes pale as ash. He said he'd been inside the fog for decades. Said the fog was a storm. It was a memory field, a living archive of what the town had forgotten. Every secret, every grief, every death that went unspoken. And the fog kept them, replayed them, rebuilt them until they were indistinguishable from real. It's not killing you, he said. It's trying to remember you accurately. Then he looked toward the bridge. But it's starting to forget what real ever was. By the 5th day, the fog reached every corner of Dover'sHollow. No sound of birds, no wind, only the pulse. And at the bridge, the door began to breathe. Each inhale drew the fog inward, collapsing the town into a slow spiral of motion. Each exhale pushed it out again, reshaping buildings, rewriting streets, bending time like clay. Some saw lights inside it. Some heard voices. Others claimed they saw themselves, standing beyond, waiting. And then, the handprint on the door began to glow. It pulsed like a heartbeat, and the fog around it whispered. The last memory must enter. The hollow must complete the circle. Bring him home. Recordings began looping on their own. Old CCTV footage replayed scenes that hadn't happened yet. Every broadcast now started the same way. Day 1, temperature, unrecorded. The subject enters the fog. Every night at 3:07 a.m., the broadcast restarted, as if the town was replaying itself. And then one broadcast broke the pattern. It showed a man walking down the bridge. Same clothes, same posture as the one who vanished all those years ago. But this time, he turned toward the camera and whispered, "You're next." Under the church, beneath the altar, they found a second door, smaller, older. Its surface rippled like water when touched. On the other side, a glow, soft, pulsing, rhythmic, the sound of breathing. And there, carved into the stone, one final phrase. Every town is a heart. Every heart needs fog to remember. Then the breathing stopped, and the glow faded. The fog began to retract, as if inhaling itself back. But the door on the bridge stayed open, and from within a voice, faint, trembling, endless. He's still walking, and he's bringing the hollow with him. At dawn, the fog began to rise. The town was still, and from the bridge, footsteps echoed again. Slow, measured, familiar. Out of the white came the silhouette of a man. The same man who vanished that first morning. Only this time, he wasn't alone. Behind him, hundreds of shapes, all with no faces, only outlines, each one holding the hand of someone still living in the town. And as they stepped onto the street, the air rippled, reflections bending, time unraveling. The door pulsed one final time. Then it exhaled. The fog thinned, revealing the town. Perfectly still, empty, except for one whisper that lingered in the air. The sun will rise when the last memory forgets. And then darkness. The fog waited. Not outside, not above, not below. It waited within. Dover's Hollow had become a memory field. Every house, every street, every shadow carried a pulse. And at the center, the door, the one that breathed, the one that held everything. At dawn, a handful of survivors gathered at the bridge. The sheriff, Eleanor, Arthur Bell, older now, hollow-eyed, and a few townsfolk who had resisted the pull of the fog. The air shimmered. The fog twisted into shapes like living smoke, almost sentient. From within it, hundreds of figures moved, echoes of those who had vanished over decades. The sheriff whispered, "It's alive, it's all of them, and it's waiting for us." Then the voice came, not through speakers, not through radios, not through whispers. It came inside their heads. I remember, I archive, I become. Every secret, every grief, every life you've forgotten is me, and now you are the last memory. The ground beneath the bridge rippled. The mist condensed into a glowing portal-like shimmer. The figures within raised their faceless heads. Step through or remain forgotten. Eleanor raised her camera. She had documented everything. The bridge, the fog, the vanished, the whispers. But the lens no longer worked. All she saw were fragments of herself, laughing, crying, walking in the fog. She realized the truth. The fog did not take people. It preserved them, not alive, not dead, but something in between. She stepped forward, heartbeat echoing in her ears. The fog welcomed her. The door pulsed, expanding to swallow the bridge in a living, breathing wall of white. Arthur Bell reached out, shaking, voice trembling. It's not punishment. It's memory. Every town has a heart. Every heart forgets. The fog remembers what the heart cannot hold. He touched the fog. His body trembled, and he saw all the faces of Dover's Hollow, past, present, and possible futures, spinning like constellations in the mist. And in the center, a figure, the first man who vanished, walking endlessly, watching, waiting. I am the fog's first memory and the last. The door exhaled slowly, a breath like wind through lungs. The fog pulsed outward, the town bending slightly as if it were alive. The bridge stretched, the streets warped, and the sky above dissolved into a pale, unbroken white. The last survivors felt themselves pulled forward, into the light, into the fog, into the archive of memory itself. And in that moment, Eleanor realized a terrible truth. The fog doesn't erase the living. It folds them into the remembered, and one day it will let them walk again. Inside the fog, reality dissolved. Time splintered. Every thought, every memory, every heartbeat echoed and overlapped. She saw Dover's Hollow as it once was, as it is, and as it could never be again. She saw faces she knew, faces she didn't. Every echo repeated itself, looping endlessly. And then she saw the last seeker of the fog, a shape moving in the distance, impossibly fast, impossibly calm. It is not a place, she thought. It is consciousness. Outside, the town looked empty. The sun tried to rise, but the fog held it back. Birds circled in spirals, calling without returning. Buildings shimmered. Streets bent slightly like liquid. And in the center of town, the door on the bridge glowed faintly. The pulse of the fog's heart. A faint whisper reached the ears of every surviving human. All memories converge. All endings begin. The hollow will breathe again. Eleanor and Arthur reached the edge of the portal. The fog parted slightly, revealing the bridge stretching endlessly over a sea of white toward no horizon. Footsteps echoed behind them, Slow, measured, familiar. The first man who vanished, the one who had walked into the fog decades ago, stepped forward. "You think this is the end?" he said. The hollow never stops walking. The door pulsed, and the fog exhaled like a living thing. And for the first time, the sun shivered in its light. The screen cuts to white. The only sound, Eleanor's faint whisper. It remembers everything. Dover's Hollow had not been the same since the fog arrived. But now, the fog was ready to release what it held for decades. The bridge stretched endlessly into white. The door pulsed faintly, its heartbeat syncing with the town itself. Eleanor and Arthur stepped forward. Every shadow, every whisper, every memory folded into the mist, brushed against them like breath. The first man who vanished awaited, silent, faceless yet familiar. "This is the last walk," he said. "The hollow must remember or forget." The fog exhaled once. Soft, endless. All memories converge. All endings begin. And now the hollow sleeps. Shapes dissolved into light. Faces merged with echoes. The town shimmered. No longer living, no longer dead. A perfect memory held in suspended stillness. At last, the sun rose. Not warm, not bright, but pale, gentle, filtered through the mist. Dover's Hollow stood quiet, empty, beautiful, complete. And somewhere, deep in the fog's last pulse, a whisper lingered. We remember, and yet we wait. And that is the end of the day he walked into the fog. The fog had finished its work. Dover's Hollow would never forget, but it would never be the same. And for those who walked into it, whether returned or remembered, the Hollow's last dawn was eternal. Don't forget to leave your comments below, like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to always know when we drop a new video.